Hey everyone, welcome back to our next session, which is day two on our ongoing topic, which is VPC. Okay, in our previous class, we discussed about what is VPC, right? What is VPC, the architecture of VPC, and basically what are the components exist in a VPC, right? And also we discuss and took example of a CIDR block, what is subnet masking, and how many IPs you can extract from a subnet, and what is the network ID and what is the host ID. Everything we discussed in our previous class, and also I show you to how to create a subnet and launch an EC2 instance within that subnet, right? But today's topic is further more little bit, and today we are going to look into the subnets. Okay, basically, so the concept is to how we can create multiple subnets within a VPC, and after that we are going to launch EC2 instances within them, and we will try to connect to those EC2 instances, and we'll see what is the issue we are going to land at if we are having only subnets and VPC. And after that, if we get chance or have time, we will definitely go through the public or private. Otherwise, in the next session, we are going to check this thing. Okay. So let's me first show you what we did in our yesterday class. Okay. So here is my AWS console and here is VPC. Let me open it in a new tab. It's a good practice to open all the resources always in different tabs, so that instead of switching on the same page into different pages, you can just switch between the tabs. Okay. So yesterday we created a VPC in the Mumbai region, right? And once I land on my AWS console, I'm going to first verify my region. And see, I am already in the Mumbai region, and here is a one VPC is available. Let me get into and verify whether it is a custom VPC or it's a default VPC, right? So let's get into there, and you can see this is a name which I just assigned to this VPC, and this is the CIDR range we did yesterday. And see, default VPC value is saying no, so this means it's an custom VPC. And if we get into the VPC to find out the resource map at the bottom, and see, I have one subnet, and this subnet is connected to the route table, and here is the route table, and this route table is by default available or created along with the VPC. When I launch the VPC, this route table by default got created. I have not created this one. Okay. And we also launched an EC2 instance within this subnet, right? This is API, and this subnet is created where? In the 1A region, in the first region. Okay, this is subnet 1. Let me open this subnet also in another tab. Today's topic is, guys, very important. Okay, just be focused whatever I am saying. If you got confused anywhere, just interrupt and ask me. And now see, I am showing you the subnet 1 which we created within that VPC. If you look at the VPC ID, what it is saying, what is the VPC name? My org VPC, which we have created in the AP South one, and within that I have created this one. And what is the CIDR I assigned it to this subnet? This is 10.0.0/24. Okay, and how many IPs are available? 251 IPs available, and these are the stuffs related to our subnet. Now let me just verify one thing. What is the CIDR? We have assigned it to this. Okay, here we have assigned this to 16. Now let me design the whole stuff, okay, so that we can have a broad idea what exactly we have done till now. So I am moving to our diagram tool, and we'll be drawing the architecture there soon. Okay, so focus here. Uh, so think about it, guys. So I'm basically drawing what exactly we have done now. Okay, so This is a region, okay? This is the region, right? And this is which region? This is AP South 1. South 1. And in this region, what we created? We created our VPC, and VPC name is my organization VPC, right? And what is the CIDR block I assigned? What is the CIDR value we have assigned to this VPC? Here it is.
24, 16,
No,
sorry,
no.
16.
For VPC, it's 16. Let's go and Control B. Okay, so this is the region, or let me just Control X, move it from here.
So any private subnet starting from 10, huh?
No, it's
Is it
not.
right?
It's not
Okay.
mandatory.
Okay.
It is my or VPC.
So how to know is it a private subnet or public subnet?
Um, we have not moved till that Durga yet. Just wait. Once I proceed there, na, I'll tell you. You
Okay.
by yourself you would be able to know. Okay.
Okay.
This is the region, and there we have our VPC. So let's go ahead and draw the VPC now. So this is my VPC now. Okay, right? Or what I can do, this is my VPC. This is my region. Okay. Within VPC, what we have? We have multiple availability zones, right? So think about this is our first availability zone. How many availability zone we have in the AP South one,
3.
right? So let me duplicate 3 times. This is the first one, second one, here is the third one. And what we call them? The first one is
AP South
AP
1A,
South 1A. Same
then
manner,
AP South 1B, South
duplicate.
1C.
This one is 1B, and in the same manner, here is 1C. 1C. Okay. Three subnets. Okay. These are the three, basically three availability zones. Okay. And what we are going to do, we have to create our subnets over them. Okay. And when we are going to create the subnet, we need to assign a CIDR range to them, because where we will be creating our real machines, our EC2 will be going to create it over here, right? And to launch this EC2, we need an IP address. So if you are not assigning a CIDR block or a range to this one, then from where this EC2 is going to get the IP address? So we need to assign a block to this one. Now think about the situation, okay? My CIDR range is for my organization VPC 10.0.0. Okay, let's do one thing. Instead of 10.0.0, or okay, let's keep it for 10.0 now. My organization VPC 10.0.0/16. And at the initial point, okay, in our organization, at the initial point, we decided to launch an EC2 instance. So immediately what I did, as I am a new beginner, I'm not aware about the situations. So what I did, I simply, okay, created a subnet in the AP South 1A using this same CIDR. What I did there, I just went and launched a subnet 1. Okay, this is my subnet 1, and what is the CIDR value I gave it? 10.0.0.0/16. ବୁଝିହେଲା ମୁଁ କଣ କଲି? ଆମ କମ୍ପାନୀରେ EC2 ଲଞ୍ଚ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ମୋତେ କହିଲେ, ମୁଁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ନୂଆ ଜଏନ୍ କରିଥିଲି AWS ବିଷୟରେ ମୋତେ ଏତେ ନଲେଜ ନଥିଲା। ଓକେ, ତ ମୁଁ କଣ କଲି? ମୁଁ ଦେଖିଲି ଏଇ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁ ଆଭେଲେବଲ୍ ଅଛି 10.0.0/16। ମୁଁ ସିମ୍ପଲି ଡାଇରେକ୍ଟଲି ଏଇ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁକୁ ନେଲି ଏଠି ଦେଇଦେଲି। Is it possible to do that, guys?
Yes.
Yes, it's possible. Let's go ahead, do. But in our case, if you look at the subnet, it's /24, which is little bit advanced I did yesterday. But anyhow, for our practical to go on sequence method, we need to remove it and create a new subnet along with that /16 CIDR in. So what I'm going to do, I'll be deleting this subnet one, delete subnet, okay, and we will then launch another one subnet with the assigned CIDR block. Okay, why I'm doing so, because I want to show you, if you are not performing the subnet or IP subnetting, then what is the issue you are going to face. So as per my plans here, so the organization asked me to, okay, Pritam, go ahead and launch an EC2 instance. So I immediately created a VPC, okay, and I found out a region, or in the Mumbai region, I created this VPC, and in the availability zone, in the first availability zone, since I have to launch an EC2 instance, and we know that to launch the EC2 instance, IP is needed, so I have to assign a CIDR block there too. So what I did, I immediately grab this whole range 10.0.0/16 and assigned it to 1A. Let's go ahead and do that. So what I'll be doing it, create subnet, my VPC selected, and here is my subnet name. This is my subnet 1. Okay, which what is the availability zone I am recommending? AP South AG1, 1A, right? This one. And what is
Hmm.
the, see, by default it is saying CIDR block assigned to your VPC is 10.0.0/16. And what is the CIDR block you want to assign to your subnet? I am saying assign the same value. Okay, 10.0.0/16. Sorry, 10 missed. So I assigned the same value. See how many IPs I am assigning right now? 65,536 IPs. I am only dedicatedly assigning this whole number of IPs to this AP South 1, 1A subnet 1. Okay, let's go ahead and create it. ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ମୁଁ କାହିଁ delete କରି create କଲି? To show you ହେଲା subnetting କାହିଁକି ଦରକାର ଆମର, ବୁଝିପାରିଲ? ତ ମୁଁ ଏବେ କଣ କଲି, ନ୍ୟୁ ସବନେଟ ଯୋଉ ଲଞ୍ଚ କଲି, ଯୋଉଟା ଆମର ଭିପିସି ର ସାଇଡର ଥିଲା ନା, କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟଲି ସେ ସାଇଡର ରେଞ୍ଜ କୁ ମୁଁ ଆସାଇନ୍ କରିଦେଲି କାହାକୁ, ସବନେଟ 1 କୁ ମୁଁ ଦେଇଦେଲି. So I am good to launch an EC2 instance in the subnet one, right? Let's go ahead and try to launch an EC2 instance. But before launching, and we already know that it's easy for us to launch an EC2 instance in the subnet one, since we have a huge amount of IPs are available there, right? See, this is the total number of IPs available. Okay, now comes again, there is a new requirement. Okay, when my senior or someone from our organization look at this stuff, okay, they look at this thing and they told me, okay, what you are doing, Pritam, this is not recommended approach. How you are making sure your EC2 is highly available? You are creating one EC2 only under one availability zone, and if anything goes wrong here in this availability zone, then how you are going to make sure that our application is highly available? Or your EC2 is a redundant EC2 instance. ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ କଣ ଏବେ ରିକ୍ୱାରମେଣ୍ଟ ହେଲା? ମୋର ଇସ୍ୟୁ ହେଇଗଲା ଏବେ, ଏବେ ମୋ ସିନିୟରକୁ ଦେଖେଇଲି, ଯେତେବେଳେ ସିନିୟର କଣ କହୁଛି ନା, ସିନିୟର କହିବା କଥା ହେଲା ଯେ ତୁ ତ ଗୋଟେ ଆଭେଲେବିଲିଟି ଜୋନ୍ ମାନେ ସିଙ୍ଗଲ ଡାଟା ସେଣ୍ଟରରେ ତୋର EC2 ତୁ ଲଞ୍ଚ କରିଦେଲୁ, ତ ଏଇଟା ତ ରେକମେଣ୍ଡେଡ ଆପ୍ରୋଚ ନୁହଁ ରିଅଲ ଟାଇମରେ. କାହିଁକି ନା ରିଅଲ ଟାଇମରେ ଆମକୁ ତ ହାଇଲି ଆଭେଲେବଲ ଆର୍କିଟେକ୍ଚର ଉପରେ କାମ କରିବାର ଅଛି ନା, ବା ରିଡଣ୍ଡାଣ୍ଟ EC2 ବନେଇବାର ଅଛି. ରିଡଣ୍ଡାଣ୍ଟ ମିନ୍ସ ଅଲୱେଜ ଆଭେଲେବଲ, ଡାଉନ ଟାଇମ ଜିରୋ ଡାଉନ ଟାଇମ ବା ଭେରି ଲେସ୍ ଡାଉନ ଟାଇମ ଆମକୁ କରିବାର ଅଛି ତାକୁ. ତ ତୁ ଯଦି
Okay.
ଗୋଟେ ସିଙ୍ଗଲ
Means
ଆଭେଲେବିଲିଟି,
means any disaster is occurring here, so it will
yes,
move to
definitely.
the south
If anything
another.
go, yeah, if anything goes wrong on this data center, because we know that availability zone is nothing else, it's an huge data center, right?
Hmm.
So if anything goes wrong in this data center, then definitely your EC2 is going to down. And if your EC2 is going to down, so this means whatever running on this EC2 won't be able to serve you, whether it is maybe your application server or maybe your load balancer, whatever it may be, you won't be able to use that, right? So which means definitely you are going to impact your business. To overcome that situation, what usually people recommend in the real time, you need to launch a similar EC2 instance in another one region. By launching it, we are making sure that if anything goes wrong in the AP South one, anyhow, IP South 1B is available so that we can manage the traffic from there. Getting me, guys? Susri, Chinma, you are following me?
Yes, means auto scaling like.
No, it's not about auto scaling. We are not till to that picture, but it's all about replicating the EC2 instance into another one data center.
ମାନେ ଭାଇ ମାନେ ସେମ୍ କନସେପ୍ଟ ହିଁ ଫଲୋ କରିବାକୁ ପଡୁଛି ମାନେ S3 ରେ ହଉ EC2 ରେ ହଉ ସବୁଥିରେ ମାନେ
ହଁ,
ରେପ୍ଲିକା କ୍ରିଏଟ୍ କରି ରଖିବାକୁ ପଡୁଛି।
ଡେଫିନେଟଲି ନା ନକଲେ ତମେ କେମିତି ହାଇଲି ଆଭେଲେବଲ ତମେ କରିବ ଆପ୍ଲିକେସନ।
ହୁଁ ହୁଁ
ତମର ଯଦି ଗୋଟିଏ ଜିନିଷ ଉପରେ ତମେ ଡିପେଣ୍ଡେଣ୍ଟ ଅଛ ସେ ତ ଡାଉନ ହେଇଗଲା, ସେ ତ ସରିଗଲା ନା ତମର।
ହୁଁ
ତମେ ଯୋଉ ରିଜ୍ୟୁମେରେ ଲେଖୁଛ ହାଇଲି ଆଭେଲେବଲ ଏଫିସିଏଣ୍ଟ ଇନ୍ developing highly available architecture, then what does mean that thing?
ଓକେ
How you are making sure? Interview ରେ ବସିବ, they will ask you directly, can you explain how you implemented a highly available architecture to make sure your app will be served always? So in every resource, okay, on resource wise, you are making sure that those resources are getting replicated or anywhere, somewhere at some place, they are getting backed up. So if anything goes with the primary or maybe the active one, then immediately you can restore the data and create or launch another machine or another DB or something else, or maybe you can stimulate a completely same similar type to another place, so that if anything goes with the first machine, your second machine is available to handle the traffic. Instead of completely vanishing from the internet, at least you are partially available. ବୁଝିହେଲା ଏଇ
ଓକେ
କଥାଟା?
ଓକେ
ଏଟା ହଉଛି highly available ର concept. ତ ଆମେ ଏଥିପାଇଁ ଏଟା କରୁଛନ୍ତି. So now comes the question. This is the CIDR range, okay, and this complete range you have assigned to this subnet one. And now the requirement is we have to create another one subnet here. So let's go name it subnet 2. Okay, so I am saying it. This is subnet 2, and let's go immediately to our dashboard and start creating the subnet 2. Okay, create subnet. Select the VPC. Okay, where we are going to create this subnet. Let me first put the name. This is subnet 2, and I want to create this subnet in which availability is not in 1A. I want to create in 1B. Okay, so that I'm making sure that the second EC2 instance, okay, will be launched in this availability zone or in this data center. Okay, I selected the availability zone, and then now see, when I am going to select the IP VPC. What is the CIDR of my VPC? This is the CIDR 10.0.0.0/16, and now I am going to select 10.0.0.0, okay, slash.
in the availability zone is by default showing, no? It is by default or created by you
No,
in
no,
the availability zone.
availability zones are by default, but it's up to me
Okay.
to select them there. Okay, so I have already assigned, if you look at the value here, na, I have already assigned this value to this one. Now I want another subnet too. So what we can do here? Okay, let's try it with 24. Let's see whether it is possible. Yes, it is possible. Let's give it another one try with 16. If you try to create another machine or another subnet with the same CIDR range which you have already assigned to the subnet one, it's not possible for you. It will throw an error. Why? Because subnet 1 is already launched. So you cannot use that CIDR. Here it is saying. But what we can do, we can prepare a subnetting or IP masking here. So what I am going to do, I can say 20. Okay, 1.0.0/20. Let's see, am I able to launch an EC2 instance or not? Now see how many IPs will be available there. I can have this much, or if you want, you can give it a 24. So 256 IPs will be available. So which means in subnet 2, if you are going to launch an EC2 instance, then there will be only 256 IPs will be available. Okay, let's go and give it a try. Now see, even I am saying 24, I am not able to launch the subnet. ଦେଖିପାରୁଛ ମୁଁ କ୍ରିଏଟ୍ କରିପାରୁନି, କ'ଣ କରିବା ଏବେ କ'ଣ କରିବି ତାକୁ? Now what I need to do? Should I change this 27 to 32 IPs? See, create
ଏ
subnet.
କମ୍ପାନୀ ଏଠି କ୍ରିଏଟ୍ କରିପାରୁନି।
Now comes the question, why we are not able to launch this subnet using any range under this block? Why? Because if you look at here, na, what is my VPC complete CIDR range? This one. And the same thing, this whole same bunch of thing. Okay. This means what? This means now if you see VPC 10.0, okay. Let's copy this and go to a CIDR calculator. Let me show you the difference. Why we are not able to launch another subnet with that same range. Control V, paste. Okay, let me remove the 16 from there and drop down and 16. Okay, calculate. So when I just clicked 10.0.0/16, so how many IPs are available? See, 65,536 IPs are available. So that means we have a set of how many IPs, which is equals to control V. That's true, right? 65 ମାନେ ମୋର total VPC ରେ କେତେଟା available IP ଅଛି 65,536, right? And when I created subnet 1 with the same range, now see what it is showing me here. If I move out of here and go to the subnet 1, okay, now see how many IPs is available here. How many IPs? So
65,000.
531. This whole bunch of IPs, okay, I have already told you 5 IPs will be reserved by the AWS, right? So that's why it is saying us right now. So this whole IP set, okay, this whole bundle of IP is completely assigned to the subnet 1. Then how can we create the subnet 2? So which means if you are creating the whole any subnet with the whole bunch of CIDR, whatever you assign to your VPC, you won't be able to create another one subnet 2 with any CIDR of this range. ବୁଝିହେଲା କଣ ହେଲା ଏଠି? 10.0.0/16 ରେ କେତେଟା complete IP available ଥିଲା? ସୁଶ୍ରୀ କେତେଟା IP ଏଠି available ଥିଲା? हेलो वॉइस क्लियर आसुनी सुश्री 10.0.0.0 राइट से रेंज रे /16 ଯେତେବେଳେ ମୁଁ ଡାକୁ ମାରୁଛି ତା ମାନେ କଣ ସେଠି କେତେଟା ନେଟୱାର୍କ ଅଛନ୍ତି /16 ମାନେ କେତେଟା ନେଟୱାର୍କ ଦିଟା ନେଟୱାର୍କ ए फील्ड होची नेटवर्क 10 होची नेटवर्क ए दीटा होची होस्ट राइट सो ए दीटा रे कंबाइन करी कि केतेटा हमर आईपी मिली परिबो हमकु 65,536 मोस्ट कंप्लीटली से सेम साइडर टाकू ना असाइन कर देछि वर्तमान सबनेट 1 को तो मोर जो 65,536 टा जाको आईपी थिला ना से पळेला होची सबनेट 1 पाखु एबे मोर क्वेश्चन आछि मो सबनेट 2 बनेइबे तो ये सबनेट 2 बनने पाए तो एठी तो मोर टोटल मोर गोटे VPC भितरे मु बनौछि ना सबनेट तो ए VPC भितरे तो जेतिक आईपी थिला मु एकु दे देछि फिर मु सबनेट 2 बनेइबी किमि दिया कारण सबनेट 2 बनने पाए तो मते आईपी रेंज 100% दरकार नहले से काम करिवनी तो मु जदी राइट एबे क्वेश्चन आछि जदी मु एबे सब दे देछि एठी केमिति करिवा तमे एबे कोन कहबो अच्छा एई जो आपण देइचंती सबनेट जो बनेइचंती हमर कंटेंट अवेलेबिलिटी जोन अछि राइट तो आमे गोटे कोन करिया ना आमे गोटे वर्चुअल सबनेट बने दवा ताको ऊपर maybe you guys can suggest me okay go ahead and create only one single subnet okay over all the 3 availability zones Is it possible to do and assign this thing, duplicate, and assign this whole set to this one, so that by doing it we are making sure that we are covering all the availability zones and this whole bunch of IPs is assigned to all of them. Is it possible? No, this is completely ridiculous. You can't do that. In AWS you can't do that. ମାନେ ବୁଝିପାରିଲ ମୁଁ କଣ କହୁଥିଲି? ମୁଁ କହୁଥିଲି ଯେ କି ମୁଁ ସିଙ୍ଗଲ ସବନେଟ ବନେଇ ବେଲେ ତିନିଟା ଯାକେ availability zone କୁ integrate କରିଦେବି। ଏଟା possible କି? ସେ କରିବାକୁ ଦଉ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ସବନେଟ କ୍ରିଏଟ କରୁଛନ୍ତି। ସେ କହୁଛି ସିଙ୍ଗଲ availability zone ଚୁଜ କର। ତମେ ଏମିତି କାମ କରି ହିଁ ପାରିବନି। ତ ତାର କିଛି ସେନ୍ସ ହିଁ ନାହିଁ। ତାକୁ ଡିଲିଟ କର। ବୁଝିହେଲା? ତ ଆମେ ସେ ଜିନିଷ କରିପାରିବା। ଏବେ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଅପସନ କଣ ଆସୁଛି ଆମ ପାଖର? What are the second option we have to create a subnet to? Yes, definitely there is another one second option. The second option is you can add another one CIDR range to this VPC. What is the CIDR range? Now you have 10.0.0./16 65,536 IPs available, which you have completely assigned to your subnet one. Again, you can assign another one CIDR. Okay, and this range should be something like 10.0. Second, 1.0.0/16, or let's give it a try. 10.0 dot 1.0 10.0.1.0/16. So I am going to add another one CIDR to this organization VPC, and if I am able to successfully add this CIDR, then I will be assigning this CIDR range to this subnet too. Let's go ahead and give it a try. And where we can do that? Is it possible to do or add another one CIDR range once the VPC got created? थोड़े VPC create ହେଲା ପରେ CIDR ତାକୁ add କରି ହବ କି? Yes, you can do that. Okay, it is possible. Select edit CIDR. Okay, once you click on edit CIDR, now see add IPv4 CIDR. It is saying IPv4 CIDR manual input, and what is the range I am saying? 10.0.1.0, right? /16.
System.
Okay, let's give it a try. Okay, sorry, 0 is not gonna work. So what we are going to do, we will be switching from 1.0. Definitely it will work. Now see, I have another one CIDR 10.1.0.0/16. Let's go and update our draw now. So our updated CIDR is this one. And how many IPs will be again available there? They're again going to be 65,536. Why? Because it's an /16, which means 2 network and 2 host is available there. Okay, so what I am going to do, I am going to completely assign this one, this body to subnet 2. ବୁଝିହେଲା କେମିତି ମୁଁ subnet 2 ଏବେ ବନଉଛି? Okay, let's go and give it a try. Let's verify whether it is able to, are we able to do it or not. So let's go create subnet, select VPC, and now see it is showing us there are 2 CIDRs available. And now let me say subnet 2. Okay, what is your preference availability zone? It's obviously 1B, and in the CIDR I am saying 1.16. Okay, there I want to create, because if I am going to create that with the 00, I have already shown you there it is throwing as an error. We can't be able to create that one. So let me put it 10.1.0.0, right, 16. So I'm completely assigning those whole set of IPs, available IPs, to that subnet too. Let's go create subnet. Now see guys, I am successfully able to launch another one subnet. ହେଇଗଲା ଦିଟା subnet create ହେଇଗଲା ଆମର. Right. Now
Hello?
comes the question.
କହିଲି ଦିଟା ଯୋଉ ସବନେଟ କ୍ରିଏଟ ହେଲା
ହୁଁ.
ଆମେ ଏଥିପାଇଁ କ୍ରିଏଟ କଲୁ କି ଯେମିତି EC2 मतलब ଇନଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସ କ୍ରିଏଟ ହେଇପାରିବ ନା କଣ?
ହଁ
ମତେ
ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ମତେ EC2 ଇନଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସ ଲଞ୍ଚ କରିବାର ଅଛି ମୋର ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ଆଭେଲେବିଲିଟି ଜୋନରେ କାହିଁକି ମତେ ହାଇଲି ଆଭେଲେବଲ ଆର୍କିଟେକ୍ଚର ଉପରେ କାମ କରିବାର ଅଛି.
ଆଚ୍ଛା ଗୋଟେ ଯଦି ବି ଡାଉନ ହଉଛି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେକୁ ତୁ ଆରାମସେ ୟୁଜ କରିପାରିବୁ
ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ୟୁଜ କରିପାରିବ. ରାଇଟ.
ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଆମେ ଦିଟା ସବନେଟ କ୍ରିଏଟ କଲେ
ଦିଟା ସବନେଟ କ୍ରିଏଟ କଲେ
ଆଉ ତାକୁ ଆଇପି ଯୋଉ ସାଇଡର ଆସାଇନ କଲେ ପୁରା ସେମ ଇଏରେ କଲେ 10.
ହଁ
ନା ଏଠି 10.1.00 କଣ ପାଇଁ କଲେ ମୁଁ ସେଇଟା ଟିକେ ଡାଉଟ ରହୁଛି.
ଏଇଠି 1 ଏଇଥିପାଇଁ କଲି ଯେତିକାଳେ ମୁଁ ଏଇଠି 10.0.00 କରୁଛି /16 ଏ ରେଞ୍ଜ ତ ମୁଁ ଅଲରେଡି ୟୁଜ କରିସାରିଛି.
ଆଚ୍ଛା ହଁ ସେ ରେଞ୍ଜ ଆଉ
କୋଉଠି ୟୁଜ
ୟୁଜ
କରିଛି
ହେଇପାରିବ.
ସବନେଟ 1 ରେ ତ ସେ
ହଁ ହଁ
ରେଞ୍ଜ କୁ
ହଁ
ମୁଁ ୟୁଜ କରିବି କୋଉଠୁ
ନାଇଁ
ମୁଁ ଆଉ ୟୁଜ କରି ହିଁ ପାରିବିନି ତାକୁ. ତ ମତେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ନୂଆ ରେଞ୍ଜ ଦରକାର. ଆଉ ଦେଖିବେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ବି ମାର୍କ କରିଥିବ ଯଦି ମୁଁ 10.0.1.0 ୟୁଜ କଲି ସେ ସେତେବେଳେ ମତେ ଏଲାଉ କଲାନି.
କଣ ପାଇଁ ସେଟା allow କଲନି?
ସେଟା କାହିଁକି ଏଲାଉ କଲାନି କାହିଁକି ନା 1 ଟା ଯେତେବେଳେ ମୁଁ କୋଉଠି କରୁଥିଲି ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ଏଇ ଥାର୍ଡ ଅକ୍ଟେଟ ରେ ମୁଁ କରୁଥିଲି 1 ରାଇଟ୍. ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଅକ୍ଟେଟ ଟା କଣ ଥିଲା 0.
ଆଚ୍ଛା
ତା
means
ମାନେ ସେ
ଥାର୍ଡ ଟା ସିଏ ହୋଷ୍ଟିଂ ନେବାର ପ୍ଲାନ୍ ଥିଲା ମାନେ ଦିଟାକୁ ନେଟୱାର୍କ ରେ ନବ ଆଉ ଦିଟା ହୋଷ୍ଟିଂ ରେ ନବ.
ରାଇଟ୍. ଦେଖ
ବନେଇଲ ସାଇଡର କୋଉ ଟାଇପ ର ବନେଇବ?
ଯେତେବେଳେ ମୁଁ ଦେଲି କଣ 10.0.1.0 ଦେଲି ନା ସେତେବେଳେ ସେ ନେଲାନି କାହିଁକି why happened like that because what is the network here when you say okay when you say /16 then what is the network is first octet belongs to network dot second octet belongs to network
Network
then dot
third
third one
octet
is host dot then third one is host when we are
host.
saying slash. When I tried to create the or add this header 10.0 okay 10.0 see 10 again 0 this is completely similar to this network right.
Yes.
Since this is similar to that network it won't allow me to add that again. But when I said 10.1 this means it's another one network. ବୁଝିପାଇଲ 10.0 ଯେତିକାଳେ ମୁଁ କରିଥିଲି ଆଉ ମୁଁ ଏଠି କଲି ହଉଛି 1 ଯେତେବେଳେ ମୁଁ ଏଠି 1 କରିକି ଏଠି 0 କରିଥିଲି ନେଟୱାର୍କ ତ ସେମ୍ ଅଛି ନା ଭାଇ ଫାଷ୍ଟ ନେଟୱାର୍କ ଯାହା ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ବି ନେଟୱାର୍କ ସେୟା ସେ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ମତେ ଏଲାଉ କଲେନି ଏଟାକୁ ଏଡ୍ କରିବାକୁ. ସେ କହିଲେ ନେଟୱାର୍କ ଚେଞ୍ଜ କର ତମେ ହୋଷ୍ଟ କଲେ କିଛି ହବନି ହୋଷ୍ଟ ସବୁ ଆସାଇନ୍ ହେଇଯାଇଛି କାହାକୁ ସବନେଟ 1 କୁ. ତମେ ଏଠି ହୋଷ୍ଟ 1 କଲା ବେଳକୁ କଣ ହବ ସେ ତମକୁ ଆଉ କେହି ଦେଇପାରିବେନି ତମେ ଏକୁ ନେଟୱାର୍କ କୁ ଚେଞ୍ଜ କର. କଣ କଲି ମୁଁ 1.0 ଯେତେବେଳେ କଲି now see what is network ID 10.1 is my network ID here what is network ID 10.0 is my network ID. That's why it allowed me 10.1 is allowed to add or to use in the subnet 2. ବୁଝିହେଲା
Right.
କାହିଁକି ଆମେ ସବନେଟ କ୍ରିଏଟ କଲେ ବି କ୍ଲିୟର ହେଇଗଲ କାହିଁକି ନା ଆମକୁ EC2 ଇନଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସ ଲଞ୍ଚ କରିବାର ଅଛି ଆଉ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ EC2 ଇନଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସ ଲଞ୍ଚ କରିବା ଆମକୁ definitely we need an IP address for that reason we are adding CIDRs to them.
Yes.
Okay clear.
Yes.
ଆଉ କାହିଁକି ଆମେ ମଲ୍ଟିପଲ availability zone ରେ EC2 ଲଞ୍ଚ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ସେଟା ବି କ୍ଲିୟର ହେଲା because in real time you have to work on highly available architecture. And when it comes to highly available architecture, that means you are not going to create all your resources on a single data center.
Right.
बुझिएगा concept एटी clear पूरा.
Yes.
Now let's see. Okay. Now I just show you there is a process Okay, there is a process using which I just added a new CIDR and use the CIDR for the subnet 2. Now think about the scenario. Since you have used this whole range in the subnet 2, what about this subnet 3? If you have to create another one subnet here, what you will do?
Yes,
Like change it
change the
10.1
slider.
1.100
Subnet 3,
something.
if you want to create, then again you have to create another one CIDR, right? You are going to add
Yes,
another one, and that is going to be 10.2
one
1,
dot.
dot, not 1, because
2.
this one network
Okay,
is
okay.
completely used here. You have
Oh,
to
yeah.
switch to another one network, 0
Got it.
dot
Then 0
0
0.
slash 16. Okay, till now all good guys. I am very good. I am happy you are capable of understanding this thing, and we found a solution. Okay, and simply I am going to replicate this one through there. Okay, three things is fine. Okay, and this range again I am going to add here, right? Uh,
Yes.
so this will be something like, let's go add another CIDR. So add CIDR equals to, it's going to be 10.2.0.0 slash 60, right? And how many IPs will be available there? 65,536. Okay, till that point we are happy. We have a solution. We got the path. If you are creating a VPC with the range, and till now, okay, to be honest, till now we have not performed any kind of subnetting. We have not done subnetting, or when I am
Like
saying
create.
subnetting ଯେତେବେଳେ ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ତା ମାନେ ହଉଛି IP subnetting. IP ମାନେ ମୁଁ ଦେଖ IP distribute କରୁନି, ଏତିକି IP ଅଛି ମୁଁ ଭାଇ ଏଠିକି ଏତିକି ଦେଇଦେଇଛି, ଏତିକି IP ଅଛି ଏଠିକି ଦେଇଦେଲି, ଏତିକି IP ଅଛି, ମୁଁ ଏଙ୍କୁ ସ୍ପ୍ଲିଟ୍ କରିନାହିଁ ଏଯାଏ। ବୁଝିପାରିଲେ ଏ କଥାଟା?
Yes.
ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ସାଇଡରେ କେତେଟା IP ଥିଲା? 65 500 ଦେଇଦେଲି ଏଠିକି ସବନେଟ୍ 1
Hmm.
କୁ। ସେକେଣ୍ଡରେ କେତେ ଥିଲା? ଯେତିକି ଥିଲା ମୁଁ ଦେଇଦେଲି ଏଠି ସବନେଟ୍ 2 କୁ। ଥାର୍ଡରେ ଏତିକି ଅଛି,
So,
ସବନେଟ୍ 3 କୁ ବି ଦେଇଦେଲି। All good?
yes.
Now let's
Correct.
go. Okay, let's go and add the CIDR for the third, our third subnet. Okay, so what I'll be doing, let's get into the VPC, and here is my VPC CIDR, edit CIDR. Okay, and I'm following the same process, guys. The thing I followed just previous time, and this time I'm going to add 10.2.0.0 slash 16, right? Adds IPv4 CIDR. Okay, it is added, and this one I added for which subnet? For third subnet.
Third
Now,
subnet.
okay, third subnet. Now think about, I want another one more subnet. Same pattern, right? Instead of
Yes.
2, what I'll be putting 3 there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's IPv4, and by making sure 4 subnets are there, I want to have another one. Okay, I have
How many subnet you can like we are creating
that's what I'm
maximum
showing you.
maximum?
That's why I'm just expanding this one. So 4, okay, add IPv4, it's done. Till now, how many subnets available? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and if I'm going to hit another one, and now see what will happen. See,
ए फर्स्ट सबनेट माने रिमूविंग रे ऑप्शन किस में देखौनी माने नॉर्मल कोन पे देखौनी
because that's the default one, primary one, and these
ओके
all are
प्राइमरी वन
top-ups.
ओके वी कैन नॉट रिमूव फाइनल primary
No,
one,
no,
right?
no. You
If
cannot remove that. If you
once
want
we
to,
created, then we cannot remove that.
with the VPC, when you delete the whole VPC, along with that, this CIDR will be removed.
Okay,
Now see,
is there
mhm.
any option to change any one primary?
Yeah, I
And
think there is option. Yeah, I think there is option to switch this one to primary and this one to secondary.
this one to secondary.
Yeah, I think so. There must be. So okay, so now see, when I try to launch the 5 subnet or add this thing for the sixth time, if you calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 number time रे जब मैं add करे पे try करी से मना कर दिला भाई. से कहला I don't have the ability to add it for the sixth number of time. Okay,
Right.
now comes the question. You guys can ask me, okay, why, Pritam, you want to add these many number of CIDRs there? Are you planning to create 6 subnets? Because if you look at the Mumbai region, we know there are only three availability zones available. And in
Yes.
every availability zone, if you are having one subnet, that's great for us. Why you are targeting to create multiple subnets in the same availability zone? Or is there any option where we can have 6 subnets? Yes, if you are not have that knowledge, then you need to have that knowledge. If you go to the North Virginia, okay, if you went to the North Virginia, how many availability zones available there in the North Virginia?
Also 6.
6 availability zones. So which means how many subnets you have to create there?
Six.
5.
Six subnet.
6. Okay, but through this approach, is it possible for you to create their 6 subnets? Because here it
No.
is showing 5 values,
Means
right?
availability zone ଅନୁସାରେ subnet ବି ଆମେ ଯେତିକି subnet ଥିବ ସେତିକି ଆମେ create କରିବା।
ସେତିକି ହିଁ ତମେ କରିପାରିବ।
ଯଦି
ଅଧିକା ବି
availability zone ରେ 6 subnet मतलब 6ଟା ଦେଇଛି ତାହେଲେ company ଯଦି require ଅଛି ଆମେ 6ଟା max 6ଟା ବି କରିପାରିବା। କିନ୍ତୁ ଯଦି
ହଁ,
ମୁମ୍ବାଇରେ କରିବ only 3ଟା ହିଁ କରିପାରିବା।
ମୁମ୍ବାଇରେ ତମେ 3ଟା ହିଁ କରିବ, but you can also do, see, one thing I am trying to say, you can also create 2 subnets here in the same availability zone. In 1A, you can have 2 different subnets.
ହୁଁ
So which means if you want to have multiple subnets, okay, in the same availability zone, it's possible. You can do that.
ହୁଁ
But definitely this IP range need to be different. CIDR range, otherwise this IP range need to be different. ଯଦି ତମେ ଏଠି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ସବନେଟ ବନେଇବ, ତାହେଲେ ଏଇଟା 10.001 ରେ ହବନି, ସେଟା ଆଉ ଗୋଟେରେ ହବ। ଏବେ ତ ବୁଲିବାଲିକି ଫେର କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ଆସିଗଲା ନା, ଯେ ପ୍ରୀତମ ତମେ ତ କହୁଛ ହେଇପାରିବନି, ମୁଁ ତ ତମକୁ ଦେଖେଇଲି ଏଠି VPC ରେ ଏଡ୍ କରି ହଉନି ଏ ଜାଗାରେ, ଏ 5ଟା ହିଁ ହେଇପାରୁଛି, ତା ଏବେ କରାହବ କଣ? କାହିଁକିନା ତମକୁ ତ 6ଟା ଦରକାର। ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ଗୋଟେ ସିଚୁଏସନ ଏମିତି ଅଛି, ତମେ କହିବ ନା ନା ଆମର ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ, ଭାବି ନିଅ ନା, ବାଇଚାନ୍ସ ଗୋଟେ ସିଚୁଏସନ ଆସୁଛି ତମକୁ 6ଟା ଦରକାର, ତମେ ଏ ଜାଗାରେ କରିବ କଣ?
ତ ତାହେଲେ
So
availability zone change କରି
no, it's not possible because see, you are not able to allow any additional CIDR in your VPC. So you don't have any way to do that.
ଓ ଭାଇ ଯଦି
So
ଆମେ
here
different zone ରେ ଯଦି create କରିବା ତ ଆମେ ଯୋଉ କହୁଛନ୍ତି BPC peer to peer ଯୋଉ connectivity ସେଟା କଣ ସେଥିରେ ଆସୁଛି କି?
ସେଟା different concept, ସେଟା ପୁରା
ସେଟା ତ
completely
peering
different।
ଅଲଗା।
ସେଟା peering, network ରୁ network ଆମେ switch କରିବା, ହେଲା, ସେଟା ଅଲଗା ଜିନିଷ। ବୁଝିପାରିଲ?
Okay.
ଏଠି କଣ ହେଲା ଆମର, ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ସାଇଡର ଲଞ୍ଚ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ଆମକୁ କଣ ଗୋଟେ ଦରକାର ରେଞ୍ଜ, ସରି, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ସବନେଟ ଲଞ୍ଚ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ଆମକୁ କଣ ଗୋଟେ ଦରକାର ହଉଛି ସାଇଡର ରେଞ୍ଜ। ସାଇଡର
Right.
ମାନେ କଣ? ୟା ଦେହରେ ଗୋଟେ ଗ୍ରୁପ ଅଫ ବଞ୍ଚ ଅଫ ଆଇପିଜ ଅଛନ୍ତି। କେତେଟା ଅଛି ଏଠି? 65,536 ଅଛନ୍ତି, ରାଇଟ? ତ ମୁଁ ଏଇଟା କଣ କଲି, ସବନେଟ 1 ରେ ଲଞ୍ଚ ୟୁଜ କଲି, ସବନେଟ 2 ରେ ୟୁଜ କଲି, ଏଟା ସବନେଟ 3 ରେ ୟୁଜ କଲି। AP South 1A, AP South 1B, AP South 1C. Now again I have to launch another one subnet. This one is again I am launching in 1A, and this one again I am creating in the 1B. But what about 1C? For 1C we need another one, 10.5.0.0/16, which is not possible for us to add here. ସେଟାକୁ ଆମେ ଏଠି add କରିପାରିବା ନାହିଁ। So this is the limitation of adding a CIDR direct to a VPC. So now you can ask me, okay, so if it is a limitation we have there, so is there any other way or any other approach we have so that we can achieve the same objective? Okay, we can achieve the same objective. We can have multiple subnets, okay, and also be able to launch multiple EC2 instances. I'm saying yes, definitely there is another way, that is known as IP subnetting. Okay. So what is going to happen, instead of assigning this whole 65,531 IPs to this only subnet 1, why don't you distribute? Why don't you distribute this thing among them all? Are you getting me, guys? What I'm trying to say? Why don't you distribute? Because in subnet 1, you don't need that much of IPs. If you are having only 256 IPs, that's great for you. In subnet 2, same 256 IP, that's enough. In subnet 3, 256, that's too much. In same manner, if you want to distribute this number of IPs, can you imagine how many subnets you can create? এই কথাটা বুঝিପାରିଲ ମୁଁ ଯୋଉଟା କହିଲି ଏବେ ମଲ୍ଟିପଲ ତମେ ଯେତେ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଏମାନଙ୍କୁ ଏଡ୍ କରିକି ଚାଲୁଥିଲ ଠିକ ଅଛି 1 2 ନେଟୱାର୍କ ବଢେଇ ବଢେଇକା ଯାଉଥିଲ କଣ ହେଇଗଲା ଚାରି ପାଖରେ ଯାଇକି ଅଟକି ଗଲନି ନାହିଁ 5 କରିପାଇଲନି ତ ତା ମାନେ କଣ ତମର ଏ ପ୍ରୋସେସ ରେ ଡ୍ରବ୍ୟାକ୍ ଅଛି ତ ଏ ପ୍ରୋସେସ ତ ପ୍ରପର କାମ କରୁନି ତ ଏବେ ମୁଁ କଣ କହୁଛି ନା ଭାଇ ତୁ ଏସବୁ କାମ କାହିଁ କରୁଛୁ ତୁ ସବୁ ଡିଲିଟ କରିଦେ ଏ ସବୁ ଡିଲିଟ କରିଦେ ଏଗୁଡା ରଖନା କିଛି କାହିଁକି ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ଯଦି ଫାଷ୍ଟ ଦେଲୁ ଦେଖ ମୁଁ ଡିଲିଟ କରିଦେଲି ଓକେ ହେଇଗଲା ମୋର ଡିଲିଟ ନାଉ ସି ଯେତେବେଳେ ମୁଁ ଫାଷ୍ଟ VPC କ୍ରିଏଟ୍ କଲି when I just created this VPC how many bunch of IPs I am having at that moment 65,536 right so is there any possibility or do you think your organization is that much big you are going to launch these many number of EC2 instances in the subnet 1 तुम लगुचे तुम एतिकिटा EC2 इंस्टेंस एठी लॉन्च करियो बोली 65,536 रियल टाइम रे
No.
That's impossible. So there is no sense of assigning this whole complete IP range to this subnet 1 instead of
Then change kariba 256 to rahi naba.
right you can assign 256 or you can assign 64 or you can assign 32 whatever need just assign a very lower value
Right.
if
As per
in future
company.
yeah if in future you need you can replicate another one subnet in the same availability zone and launch another EC2 instance there
Right.
right so if I
Yeah.
have to launch 32 EC2 instances then what should be this value let's go there to the calculator and show you now 16 if I have to launch only 32 machines or 32 IPs what should be the value 27
Okay.
if I'm saying 27 then how many IPs will be available there 32
32.
if I'm saying 26 if I have to let's go with the 64 26 okay so what I'm saying instead of directly assigning this whole 16 why don't you just put 26 and when I put 26 it's 64 right so by making sure that 64 IPs will be available there right so I here I can launch how many number of EC2 instances 64 EC2 instances put it ବୁଝିହେଲା ଏଇଟା କଣ କଲି ମୁଁ
It's clear.
ଏବେ ଏବେ ମୋର କେତେଟା ଥିଲା ଟୋଟାଲ 65,536 କେତେଟା ଏଠିକି ଦେଲି ମୁଁ
64 only.
64 ଦେଲି ଆଉ କେତେ ରହିଲା ମୋର
Sorry,
Calculate
64.
ଏତିକିରୁ 64 ମାଇନସ କରିଦବ ବାକି ସବୁ ରହିଲା ନା ନାହିଁ ମୋ ପାଖରେ
हाँ.
ଏବେ subnet 2 ବନେଇବି କଣ କରିବି now tell me what I have to do if I am going to
20.
create the subnet 2 I'll be creating from 65 okay again 26 how many IPs will be available there
64.
equals to 64 ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ଏଇ କ୍ୟାଲକୁଲେସନ ଟା ମୁଁ କଣ କରୁଛି ଏବେ ବହୁତ ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟିଂ ଜିନିଷ ଏଟା ବହୁତ ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟିଂ ମଜା ଲାଗିବ ଥରେ ବୁଝିଯିବ ତାପରେ ମଜା ହିଁ ମଜା ଲାଗିବ ଏବେ କେତେଟା IP ଗଲା
64
ଟୋଟାଲ କେତେଟା IP ସଇଲା ମୋର 128
28
right so ଏବେ subnet 3 right so what is the range here will be
26
26 and what is the
and
IP
60 60
65 64 plus 64 how many went 128 so this is going to be 128 sorry 64 129 okay
1 2
sorry ଏଇଟାକୁ ମତେ omit କରିବାର ଅଛି ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଟାକୁ କାଟିବାର ଅଛି ଏଟା 0 ରହିବ ଏଠି ବି 0 ରହିବ ବୁଝିପାଇଲ ଚିନ୍ମୟ କନଫ୍ୟୁଜନ ରହିଲା କି ପଚାର ଆଉ ଥରେ ମୁଁ ଯେତେବେଳେ 26 କହୁଛି ତା ମାନେ କେତେଟା ଆଇପିଜ୍ ମୋର 64ଟା ରାଇଟ୍।
ତ ଏଠି ମାନେ ନେଟୱାର୍କ କେତେଟା ଯାଉଛି? ତିନିଟା ଯାଉଛି ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ହୋଷ୍ଟ ରହୁଛି କି 129 ଟା ଯାକ?
ମୋର ଏଇଠି ଫାଷ୍ଟ ଯେତିକି ମୁଁ ଲଞ୍ଚ କରିଥିଲି ଏଠି କେତେଟା ନେଟୱାର୍କ ଅଛି? ଦିଟା।
ଦିଟା।
ନେଟୱାର୍କ ଭିତରେ ମୁଁ ଫେର ଥରେ ନେଟୱାର୍କ କ୍ରିଏଟ କଲି, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ ନୋନ୍ ଏଜ ସବନେଟିଂ। ବୁଝିପାରିଲେ? ସବନେଟ ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ନେଟୱାର୍କ ଭିତରେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ନେଟୱାର୍କ କ୍ରିଏଟ କରିବାକୁ ତାକୁ କୁହାଯାଏ ସବନେଟିଂ। When I
Got it.
just selected 26, now tell me how many networks are there here?
64 आता.
Two
If
network.
I go there and this is my IP, okay. Let me get into there. Now see, remove this, okay. And now again, my first subnet one range is 10.0.0.0/26. Now tell me how many networks are there?
Two network.
Two networks. Data network ହେଲେ 26 କେମିତି ହବ? ସେ ତ 16 ହବ। 8 8 16 ହବ। କେତେଟା ଅଛି ତାହେଲେ ନେଟୱାର୍କ? ଫାଷ୍ଟ ନେଟୱାର୍କ ଅଛି ରାଇଟ୍ 8, ତାପରେ କ'ଣ ଫେର ଗୋଟେ ନେଟୱାର୍କ 8, ତାପରେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ
Then
ନେଟୱାର୍କ ଅଛି,
network.
ତାପରେ
Three
ଆଉ
network.
ଗୋଟେ
Single hosting.
କେତେଟା ହେଲା? ଏ ତିନିଟା ମିଶି କେତେ ହେଲେ? 24। ଆଉ
24.
ଗୋଟେରେ କ'ଣ ଅଛି? ଦିଟା ବିଟ୍ ହଉଛି ନେଟୱାର୍କ, ଆଉ ବାକି ସବୁ ହୋଷ୍ଟ। ଗୋଟେ ଅକ୍ଟେଟରେ କେତେଟା ବିଟ୍ ଥାଏ? 8ଟା ବିଟ୍। 8ଟା ବିଟ୍ରୁ ଏତିକି ହଉଛି ନେଟୱାର୍କ ମୋର, ବୁଝିଲ? ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ସ ୱାଇ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ 26। First octet 8 bits, second 8 bits, third 8 bits, and again 2 bits, which I just forwarded to the network. That's why it is 26. ବୁଝିହେଲା?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the ideal way when you are going to create EC2 instance in real time. You will be following this approach. Instead of adding new siders to the same VPC, what in real time you are going to do, once you have a VPC, then after you need to perform the subnetting, and subnetting is something like this. So let's go and start creating our resources. And what I'll be doing, I'll be removing these all subnets. Okay, why? Because I don't want to have these much IPs blocked for me, only for me. I'm not going to use them, I know, right? Everybody knows who is gonna use them, that number of IPs, guys. That's terrific. So just destroy those things, and let's verify the VPC. And here we know that these all things are no use, because when I try to expand to the 6th subnet, it's not possible. So I'm not going through that approach. I'm just reverting back, and I found a new way, okay, which is subnetting. So I'll be doing that process now. If you see, what is my primary CIDR? This one. How many IPs available under this CIDR? 65,536, right? And I'll be creating out of this CIDR multiple subnets. ବୁଝିହେଲା?
Yes.
VPC select kali, okay. Still it's showing this one is available. Just verify. Only VPC is selected. Now see, only one CIDR range I have. And what is the first subnet? I'm going to say this will be my subnet 1. And in which availability zone I will be launching this one? In 1A. And
One nine.
this is my whole CIDR range. And out of this, I am saying 10.0.0.0/26, right? If you want to have 64, if you want more number, you can say it something like 25. You can see when I said 25, how many number is showing? 128. Okay, but for now, let's go 26 is fine. That's good. 26. This is my first subnet 1 details. If you want to add another one subnet, you can create it here. Add new subnet, and this will be my subnet 2. Okay. So basically, I am launching multiple subnets at the same time, and the availability zone will be 1B, and here 10.0.0.65, right? Slash 26, because in that series, okay, 0 to 64 siders, 0 to 64, all that IPs are allowed to which one? This subnet one, right? So after 64 कौन ରହିବ 65 ରହିବ, ତ ମୁଁ ଏବେ 65 ପାଖରୁ ଫେର ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ କଲି କାହାକୁ subnet 2 ବୁଝିହେଲା
Yes.
ଏଠି ମୁଁ ଦେଲି. Now again go ahead, let's go and create add another new subnet, which is our subnet 3, and this will be I am launching in the 1C, and 10.0.0.0 slash 26. Okay, this should not be last 0. 1 to 9. 1 to 9. If I am going to say, just take a look, if I am saying 126 na, it will throw an error. I won't be able to launch this one. Why? Because this 126 IP is already allowed here. 65 plus 64, I have allowed this one here. If I'm going to create now see what is going to happen. Create subnet. Now see, immediately throw an error. What it is saying? This 126. Okay. In the subnet 2, okay, in the subnet 2, CIDR address overlaps with the existing subnet CIDR 126.26. If I am going to say 129, now see, it will be fixed. If you say 128, even though you are going to get the error. Why? Because 128 is allowed here. Okay, 120 was not calculated with the subnet 2. So 127 subnet 2 ସରୁଛି ହେଉଛି 127 ରେ, subnet 3 ଆମର start ହେଲା 128 ରେ. So let me clear these all filters. Okay, now I have 3 of them subnets, and if you scroll towards right, you guys can see all of them got created in the same VPC, and here is the range 0, 64, 128. Okay, and how many IPs available in every subnet? It's 59. But if you remember, when I was creating subnets, it was showing how many IPs? 64 IPs. Okay, so by default 5 IPs will be always blocked by the AWS for its use cases. ବୁଝିହେଲା ଏତିକି ଯାଏଁ? ସୁଶ୍ରୀ ଚିନ୍ମୟ ଏନି କନଫ୍ୟୁଜନ କାହାର କିଛି ଅଛି? या ପରେ ମୁଁ ଆଗକୁ proceed କରିବି. ଚିନ୍ମୟ, clear?
Yeah.
Okay, now since we have our subnets, let's verify again our resource map. Let me just give it a refresh. So you got the idea why we are creating subnets and why we are assigning them. Okay, now see, all the subnets are there. Okay, subnet 1, 2, 3, and what I am going to do, I'll be launching EC2 instance as per our plan. Okay, let's go do it immediately. And to launch EC2 instance, definitely we need to switch to EC2 dashboard. Look for EC2, open a new tab, go there. Make sure you are in the same region, okay, because VPC is a region specific, and also EC2 is to a region specific resource. If you switch the region, you won't be able to find out those stuff there. Now see, I don't have any EC2 running EC2 instances here. Let's go run instances. The first instance I'll be launching in the subnet 1. And can anyone take a guess what should be the IP range or what should be the IP address? Subnet 1 ଭିତରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ EC2 instance launch କରିବ, ତାର IP କେତେ ଆସିବ କି କହିପାରିବ? ଏଇଠୁ ଦେଖି କହିପାରିବ କି?
256 sorry 128.
ଏଇଟା ହଉଛି subnet 1 ଯୋଉଟା ମୁଁ ହାଇଲାଇଟ କରିଛି.
सॉरी एटा 64 आईपी आछो ना
तो केते आसीबो ता रेंज काहा भितरे रहइबो के कोइ परियो एइटा देखो मझिटा
रेंज
जोना न देखो
55536
ଏଇଟା
ଭିତରେ ରହିବ।
availability zone ଉପରେ ରହିବ।
ଏଇଟା ହଉଛି ଏଇଠି ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଆଇପି ରେଞ୍ଜ ଟା କେତେ ଯାଏଁ ଯାଉଛି 63 ଯାଏ ରାଇଟ୍ 10.0.0 ରୁ ସେ କେତେ ଯିବ 1 2 3 ହେଇକି ଅପ୍ ଟୁ 63 ଯାଏ ଯିବ ତ ମୁଁ ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ EC2 ଇନଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସ ଏବେ ସବନେଟ୍ 1 ଭିତରେ ଲଞ୍ଚ କରୁଛି ନା ସୋ ଡେଫିନେଟଲି ମତେ କେତେ ମିଳିବ 10.0.0.0 ଠୁ 63 ଭିତରେ ହିଁ ମିଳିବ 10.0.05 ହେଇପାରେ 10 ହେଇପାରେ 15 ହେଇପାରେ ବା 22 ହେଇପାରେ କିଛି ବି ହେଇପାରେ ବଟ୍ 63 ଭିତରେ ହିଁ ରହିବ 63 ସେପଟିକି ସେ ଯିବ ହିଁ ନାହିଁ why because I have not allowed any kind of number there in that subnet 1 okay so let's go launch instance so I'll be naming it my subnet 1 server instance type go with the default one okay I am selecting a key pair and I need to verify okay DevOps 26 okay this one I have already in my local so I'm using this one and see now here comes the question in which subnet I have the ability or I want to launch this one now see where it is saying it will be launched in the subnet 3 no make it edit it where I want to
Right.
launch it in the subnet 1 and when I am selecting subnet 1 see all the details it is providing how many IPs available there 59 IPs
59
right and this will be created over the which availability zone AP South 1A right
episode
and
yes
auto assign public IP yes I want to assign a public IP address this one
yes
which means public IP will be assigned to this one create
no
security group yes go ahead create security group this is my I'm naming it default SSH okay just a description test firewall and what I'm saying SSH will be allowed there SSH
yeah
we
same
as you
here
all know it is used to log into that machine so I'm saying SSH will be allowed that is that's what basically I want to do over that machine and let's go and hit launch instance so this machine as per our diagram okay will be launched in the subnet 1 okay
yes
in the same manner, I'm going to launch other two EC2 instances in other two subnets. And I will be showing you what is their IP addresses, okay, which are will be assigned to them from their subnets. View all instances. Okay, this is the first server which we launched under our subnet 1. And this is the public IP, okay, and this one got assigned when I just enable that option, right? But if you look at the IP, private IP, what is the range? 24, which is in between 0 to 64, right? 0 to 64,
right
that's why you are seeing 24. So which means how many EC2 instances you can launch there? You can launch 64 EC2 instances. If you want to launch 65th number of EC2 instances, it's not possible. Why? Because there is no available IP for that is missing.
okay
Good. Okay. So now let's go create another. ବୁଝିହେଲା କାହିଁକି ଆମେ ଏତିକି ସବୁ ପଢୁଛନ୍ତି ଧନ୍ଦା ଏତେ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଲଫଡା ହଉଛି କାହିଁକି ନା ତାକୁ IP
ହୁଁ
ଆଡ୍ରେସ ଦବାର ଅଛି IP ଆଡ୍ରେସ କଣ ପାଇଁ ନେଟୱାର୍କରେ କମ୍ୟୁନିକେଟ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ନହେଲେ ସେ ନେଟୱାର୍କରେ କମ୍ୟୁନିକେଟ କରି ହିଁ ପାରିବନି
ବଟ୍ ସାର୍ ଆମେ ଇନଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ଷ୍ଟପ୍ କରିବା ସେତେବେଳେ ତ ଆମର ଆଇପି ଆଡ୍ରେସ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହବ ନା
ପବ୍ଲିକ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହବ ପ୍ରାଇଭେଟ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହୁଏନି
ହୁଁ
ବୁଝିଲ ପବ୍ଲିକ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହବ ମୁଁ ତମକୁ ଷ୍ଟପ୍ ବି କରିକି ଦେଖେଇଦେବି ମୋର ପବ୍ଲିକ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହେଇଯିବ କିନ୍ତୁ ପ୍ରାଇଭେଟ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହବନି ଆଚ୍ଛା ଯଦି ସେଇ ଟପିକଟା କହିଲ ମତେ ଏବେ କହିଲ ଯୋଉ ପବ୍ଲିକ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହଉଛି से पब्लिक चेंज न होबा पई कोन करा हबो
इलास्टिक आईपी दिया जिवो सेठी इलास्टिक
Very
आईपी ऐड करा जो जेमति चेंज होबनी तापरे
बस वेरी गुड
allocate
तो इलास्टिक
yes
आईपी टा आमे कोन करंती बेसिकली परचेज करंती राइट
right
सेति पई ता पई
जेमति
चार्जेस जनरेट हुए
क्लाइंट को जेते बेले हमें दबा सेते बेले जदि किछि डाटा दोचन जेमति से न चेंज हो डायरेक्ट
राइट बेसिकली लोड बालांसर सहित आमे ता कनेक्ट करी रखंती बुझि पाइलो लोड बालांसर टा हमर कोन हेतिबो से फ्रंटियर रे थिबो डीएमजी रे थिबो डीमिलिटाराइज जोन रे थिबो से हला तो सेठी जदि आईपी चेंज हे जिवो तान तो मु जो रेकॉर्ड बनै छै राउट 53 रे सेठी तो चेंज हे गेला राउट 53 रिजोल्यूशन कोठी प्रोवाइड करियो सेति पई इलास्टिक आईपी किना हे कि ताको लोड बालांसर रे इंटीग्रेट कर देहो okay so this time where I am going to I have to launch the EC2 instance I will be launching in the subnet 2 let's go do it in the subnet 2 and I'm making sure that subnet is belongs to 1b okay and see by default it is showing your auto assign public IGB is disabled but I want to enable it why because we have to log into that machine okay and create security group no I have already a default security group okay that's why I just renamed that one default SSH I'll be using this one okay no need to create multiple EC2 sorry security groups and launch EC2 instance when this EC2 is getting launched, can anyone tell me what is the possible IP of that EC2?
second one 150 10.000
10.00064 ରୁ କେତେ ଭିତରେ ସେ ରହିବ 128 127 ଭିତରେ ଥିବ ସେ ହେଲା ସେ ରେଞ୍ଜ ଭିତରେ let's go and verify now see what is the private IP of this machine this is 093 which is more than 64 and below 128 right in the same way if you are going to launch another one EC2 instance in the subnet 3 it will show the same kind of number okay I'm not going to launch the third one okay I'll be not launching the third one okay since we have two EC2 instances ready now okay let's give it a try to log into them तो login करी भी देखि दवा तमे यदि प्रैक्टिकल करिवो ना ए डॉक्यूमेंटेशन को फॉलो करिवो हला एथरे सब लिखा है ओके जते बेले तमे सबनेट EC2 लॉन्च करि सारिबो तापर हम कोन करबे SSH करिया रहतो okay how we are going to SSH control C this okay SSH minus I your PEM file name along with the path then EC2 user then public IP okay something like this okay
सेटा कोथरे गिटबेस ना पुट्टी रे ना कोथरे करिवे
कमांड प्रॉम्प्ट रे करिया सिंपली CMD रे करिया गिटबेस पुट्टी सब यूज कर परिबो जहां दरकार यूज कर परिबो since we have not started learning about git yet I am not using गिटबेस मु सेट पे केवल यूज करूनी नॉर्मल गिटबेस ऑलरेडी इंस्टॉल्ड अछि बट काहे की कंफ्यूजन क्रिएट करियो अधिक आबे CMD कमांड पावर शेल फर्स्ट फेमिलियर हे जो तापर एटी कोले किछ ना before verifying I have to verify where I have the PEM file let me just take a look where is my PEM file the AWS yeah here is the PEM file okay so let's switch to this path cd paste enter okay now let's verify we have the PEM file there okay and what is the command to SSH minus I then PEM file name right DevOps 26.pem this is the PEM file which I used there and then EC2 so EC2 minus user at the rate then public IP
Public.
of the machine, and I am trying to connect to the anyone. Okay, first one. Let's go try with the first one. What do you guys think? Am I able to connect to them or not? Connect ହେଇପାରିବ ନା ନାହିଁ କଣ ଲାଗୁଛି ତୁମକୁ?
ହେଇଯିବ କନେକ୍ସନ 3x3 ଚେକ୍ ହେଇଯାଇଛି ଏଠି କନେକ୍ଟ ବି ହେଇଯିବ।
ଓକେ ଠିକ ଅଛି ଚାଲ ଦେଖିବା। ଦୁର୍ଗା ଭାବୁଛନ୍ତି ଯଦି କନେକ୍ଟ ହେଇଯାଇଥାନ୍ତେ ତାହେଲେ ପଚାରୁଛନ୍ତି କାହିଁକି?
No.
ଓକେ ଲେଟ୍ସ ସି।
ସାର୍ ଆପଣ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ
Expected
DevOps SSH କ୍ଲାଏଣ୍ଟ ଥିଲେ ତାପରେ ଯୋଉ DevOps ଏଟା କାହାର ସେଠି ଯେତେବେଳେ VPC କ୍ରିଏଟ କରିଥିଲେ ସେଟା ନାଁ ଦେଇଥିଲେ ବୋଧେ?
ନା ନା ଏଟା ହଉଛି ପେମ୍
ନା ନା
ଫାଇଲ।
କି
ଯେତେବେଳେ ମୁଁ EC2
pen
ଲଞ୍ଚ
file
କଲି, EC2 ଲଞ୍ଚ କଲା ବେଳେ ମୁଁ ପେମ୍ ଫାଇଲ ଦେଇଥିଲି
এটা
କନଫିଗର
ଡାଉନଲୋଡ
କରିଥିଲି।
ହେଇଥିବ ନା।
ହଁ
ଆଚ୍ଛା
ଏଟା ମୁଁ
ଆଚ୍ଛା
ଡାଉନଲୋଡ
PEM
କରିଦେଇଥିଲି ଆଗରୁ। ଏଇଠି ଦେଖ ପେମ୍ ଫାଇଲ ନାଁ ଅଛି ଏଠି। ସରି ଗୋଟେ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଏଇଠି ସିକ୍ୟୁରିଟି କି ଯାଅ। ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଡିଟେଲ୍ସ କଣ ପେମ୍ ଫାଇଲ ଅଛି? This PEM file will be used to log.
ଠିକ ଅଛି
This is
ଠିକ
a
ଅଛି।
KPI file. Okay. But ଦେଖ କଣ ହେଲା ଆମର ଇସ୍ୟୁ ଆସିଗଲା ଭାଇ। ସବୁ ଓକେ ଥିଲା, ତମେ ତ ସବୁ ଦେଖିଲ ତମ ସାମ୍ନାରେ କଲେ, ତାପରେ ଦେଖିଲା ବେଳକୁ କନେକ୍ଟ ହେଇପାରିଲାନି। ଟାଇମ ଆଉଟ୍। ଆଚ୍ଛା ଠିକ ଅଛି, ଆର EC2 ଟ୍ରାଏ କରିବା। ମେ ବି ଏଥିରେ କିଛି ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଅଛି ସେଥିପାଇଁ ହଉଛି ଆର EC2 ଟ୍ରାଏ କରିବା। Let's give the try to another one EC2. Another one EC2 is server 2, right? So let's go
Right.
ahead. Click on it. Copy the public IP. Go there. Control V. ଆସିଗଲା enter. Let's see. Are you able to connect to this one too?
Yes.
This is also not going to be connected. This
କଣ ପାଇଁ
is
sir?
the power of custom VPC. Okay. Custom VPC ଏଇଥିପାଇଁ ବନାଯାଏ। ବୁଝିପାରିଲେ? Why? Now comes the question, why I am not able to connect to any of the EC2 machines? Why? Let me show you. If you go to the VPC, okay,
और आउट
if you
टेबल
go to
ସେଗୁଡା
the
ସବୁ ଦିଆ ହେଇନି ସେଥିଲାଗି।
resource map, is there any network connection to the outside world?
नो
Look at this
इंटरनेट
diagram.
गेटवे दिया जाएନି।
Right. See, is there any internet gateway? No. So
No.
I have to attach an internet gateway there.
Right.
Okay. Now let's go and create an internet gateway. If you go to internet gateway, this is something like to completely your router. ଆମେ ଘରେ ରାଉଟର ଇନଷ୍ଟଲ କରନ୍ତି ୱାଇଫାଇ କନେକ୍ଟିଭିଟି ପାଇଁ, ତ ସେମ୍ ହଉଛି ଇଣ୍ଟରନେଟ ଗେଟୱେ। ବୁଝିଲ? My or IGW internet gateway. Okay, let's go create internet gateway. Once this internet gateway got created, then we have to attach to a VPC. Okay, which VPC we are going to attach? Definitely our region specific VPC. Attach internet gateway. Okay, so this means okay, now I have the connectivity to my VPC. Okay, so does this mean am I able to access to those machines now? ତା ମାନେ କଣ ମୁଁ ଏବେ access କରିପାରିବି କି?
No, no, no.
ନା କାହିଁ କରିହବନି କୁହ ଏବେ କୁହ ଏଇଟା ଟ୍ରିକ୍ସ।
କାହିଁକି ନା ସେଠି ବି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଆଟାଚ୍ କରତେ ପଡିବ ତା ଭିତରେ ଆମର
ପ୍ରାଇଭେଟ ସବନେଟ୍ ଅଛି।
ସେଗୁଡାକୁ
ରିସୋର୍ସ
ଆଡ୍ କରତେ
ମ୍ୟାପ୍ ଦେଖ।
ପଡିବ।
ରିସୋର୍ସ ମ୍ୟାପ୍ କୁ ଚାଲ, ସେଇଠି ଦେଖିଲେ ତମେ ବୁଝିଯିବ। ସୁଶ୍ରୀ ବୁଝୁଛ? ସାଇଲେଣ୍ଟ ପୁରା ସୁଶ୍ରୀ। There. Now, one second. VPC. Let me refresh. Get into the VPC. Okay. So internet gateway is there. Okay. And subnets are connected to which? To this route table. But we have not redirected any traffic yet to the internet gateway. So what we need to do, we need to get into the route table. Okay, this is the route table. Now we
Edit.
have to add
Edit
subnet
route.
association. Sorry,
Right.
subnet association we need to do there. Edit subnet association.
Select
Select
all.
all of them.
Right.
Save association. Okay. Now let me do one thing. Okay. I want to show you both the stuff at the same time. Subnet association. We have launched one EC2 in subnet 1 and another one in subnet 2. Okay. What I will be
Hmm.
doing, I'm not going to add the subnet 1 here. Okay.
Hmm.
Save association. ବୁଝିପାରିଲ ମୁଁ କାହିଁକି ରିମୁଭ୍ କରିଦେଲି ତାର ଗୋଟେ ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ ମୁଁ ତମକୁ ଦେଖେଇବି ବୋଲି ମୁଁ ରିମୁଭ୍ କରିଦେଲି ହେଲା second why it is still not showing me my expected diagram. Let me verify a few things. Okay, this is 0EO0. Okay, let's get to that route table. Open it. Yeah, subnet association along with we need to also update or edit that route to internet gateway. That's what I did not perform. So routes, local, active, edit routes, add route, all traffic, where? To the internet gateway. And kindly make sure to select your internet gateway. So I'm saying all traffic, okay, from the outside world through the internet gateway, allow them into my VPC. Now see, route got created, subnet is also associated, and if you look at the VPC diagram now, resource map, now see how it is looking. ଏବେ ଦେଖ କେମିତି ଦେଖାଯାଉଛି. Okay, it's proper
Yes.
fine now.
Yes.
Now let's go and verify.
And now it's connected.
And this is the EC2 instance 13975. This is the EC2 instance launched in my subnet 2. So I am trying to access this one. Now see, I am able to access
Yeah.
it. Yes, we are successfully logged into that EC2 instance. Right? If you
Correct.
want to verify who am I, see
Right.
right now we are in the EC2 instance. If you want to verify the IP, then IP config run, sorry, or let's say IP ADDR. Let's see. See, it is showing me all the IP details here. Okay,
Right. Right.
all good.
Yeah.
So we are successfully able to log into which machine? The machine which I have created within the subnet 2, right? What about the subnet 1 machine? If you see, this is the IP 139 in subnet 2, right? There I am able
Hmm.
to successfully log in. Now
Same.
let's exit out of it. Okay, I just completely moved out, and this is 206. This is the machine which we created in the subnet 1. If I hit
Hmm.
enter, okay,
Yes.
yes, we are also able to log into that machine too. But
Right.
my objective was not to log into this machine. My objective or goal was to not to log into, provide you access to this one. So what I have to do, I'll be moving to the one second, to the internet gateway. Okay, nothing to do in the internet gateway. Just verify. Okay, we updated subnets in the route table, right? So
Hmm.
get into the route table, subnet association. See, by default, subnet 1 is present there. So edit subnet association, remove this one. Selected subnets are available subnets 3, only 3, 2 are save association. Second. Available subnets 3. Okay. So this is
ରିମୁଭ୍ କାହିଁ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଏଠି?
ଏଟାକୁ ରିମୁଭ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଆମେ ତାକୁ ପ୍ରାଇଭେଟ ସବନେଟ୍ ବନେଇବା ପାଇଁ।
ମାନେ one ଟାକୁ private subnet ବନା ହେଇଛି।
ହଁ। If you are not providing internet access to a subnet, that means that subnet is a private subnet. That's our which at the starting I told you we are going to discuss. Public subnet means a subnet is considered public when its route table has a route to an internet gateway, which I just did, right? Public subnet, route table, then internet gateway. Through internet, you are going to access all the way to the machines, which whatever you are going to launch in the public subnet. And what is the private subnet? A private subnet does not have a direct route to an internet gateway. Okay, in private subnet, then a route table, then there will be a NAT gateway. Through the internet gateway you are going to access. You can't access, only the traffic from private subnet can access the internet. And what is the importance of private subnet? Application server will be stored in the private subnet. Databases will be stored in the private subnet. All important things, whatever is very important for your organization, you are going to launch them in the private subnet. ବୁଝିହେଲା ଏ କନସେପ୍ଟଟା? ପ୍ରାଇଭେଟ ପବ୍ଲିକ ର ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ। ବଟ୍ ଆମେ ଯୋଉଟା ଏବେ କ୍ରିଏଟ୍ କଲେ ଦିଟା ଯାକ ପବ୍ଲିକ ହେଇଯାଇଛି, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ସେ ମେସିନ୍ କନେକ୍ଟ ହେଇଗଲା। ତାକୁ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଟିକେ ତା ଦେହରେ ମୋଡିଫିକେସନ ଅଛି। ଆଜି ଅଲରେଡି ବହୁତ ଲେଟ୍ ହେଲାଣି, ସେ ମୋଡିଫିକେସନ ଟା ଏବେ କରିବାନି ହେଲା। ବଟ୍ କାଲିକି ଆମେ ସେଇଠୁ ଫେର କଣ୍ଟିନ୍ୟୁ କରିବା, ବୁଝିହେଲା?
Okay.
So this is the basic difference between a private subnet and public subnet. Public subnet means anyone from the, and not anyone, simply you or your internal people, whoever has that PEM file and other IP stuff details, they can access from the internet to that EC2 instance. But if you are launching an EC2 instance in the private subnet, then there is very hard for you to access that EC2 instance. It's only for the possible for that EC2 instance or other those databases to access to the internet through a NAT gateway. ବୁଝିହେଲା? ଏବେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ହଉଛି ପ୍ରାଇଭେଟ ସବନେଟ ରେ ଯୋଉ ମୁଁ ଡାଟାବେସ୍ କୁ ଲଞ୍ଚ କଲେ ତାକୁ ମୁଁ କାହିଁକି NAT ଗେଟୱେ ଥ୍ରୋ ରେ ଇଣ୍ଟରନେଟ କନେକ୍ଟିଭିଟି ଦେବି? ନେକ୍ସଟ ଟପିକ ଇଏ ରହିବ ଆମର, ହେଲା? You guys can go through these all details. Okay. Internet gateway topic I already show you. Anyhow, we will discuss tomorrow. No, okay. So that's it for today. Let me stop the recording.